very good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everyone on the worldwide DATV Net today. This is ZS6YI hosting from near Johannesburg. Yeah, I had a funny problem just now. The mains did a dip and I couldn't get the Node Red to work. Luckily, I had an older version, 4.7, and I got that to work. And at the same time, I'm hardly using processing power, so I've got some problem with the 4.9 or 4.8 that I'm still running. Anyway, we just wish to also thank the Qatar satellite company for allowing us the opportunity to be on their satellite with our amateur satellite, a satellite which was developed by AMSAT DL, that's a German side of AMSAT. And we also wish to thank AMSAT UK and, of course, the British Amateur Television Club. That collaboration of people working together has certainly made it possible for radio amateurs to come onto DATV and to have a lot of fun with sending high-quality digital pictures at a very, very low symbol rate compared to commercial things. Yeah, today, let's just bring in the... I think that will work. Let's bring in the list quickly. There we go. We have ZS1 Mike Leon to follow. G8KOE Martin thereafter in the UK. Oh, still doing the washing up. That's good. Don't let my wife hear that. And hello to Phil, Mike 0 Papa India Tango. And hello to Benno, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray. And to Paul, whom we saw just now. Very good to see you guys on, I'm sure. And there's Ed coming up. Good morning to you, Ed. Right, as mentioned on our various forums, we want to discuss the changing of the worldwide net DATV time slot. As you know, in the UK, the clocks have gone backwards. So they're 2 hours behind the UTC at this moment. Now, the suggestions that we had was to go back to 1400 UTC, which means I'll have to move in South Africa 1 hour up, but that leaves the British amateurs in the same spot they were last week. So there's no gain. So the next suggestion was to go to 1500 UTC, which means it'll be 5 o'clock in South African time, and that would help with the British amateurs to be at exactly 3 o'clock their time. And then another suggestion came through from Ed, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, because he's now in South America, in Brazil, and at 1500 hours, it's slap bang 12 p.m., exactly in the middle of his lunch hour. So Ed has suggested, let's moving the whole thing up to 1700 hours. Now that might coincide again with dinner time. You know, we saw this firsthand when we had Australia, America, and of course the whole of Europe and Africa linked. That was the last Saturday of August this year. It was quite a historic event. But what we did notice that some of the Americans had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were okay. We were at 11 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the UK. The Australians were already about to go to bed at about, well, between, I think, 9:30 and 11 p.m. So it made us realize that a real worldwide net to suit everybody is going to be impossible. And as it is, the QO-100 satellite has a wonderful reach, a wonderful footprint. So we are blessed to have such a wide range. Now, I know if we went much higher than 1500 hours, the guys from Israel and India would not be able to make it. It'd be too late for them. However, having said that, we did play around the 1300 hours, 1400 hours. We brought it back to 1300 hours because the Indian guy said it would be a bit late for them. However, in a whole year, we only heard twice maybe from Old Surrow and nobody else. So now I don't know. It's a quandary, but we put it to the vote. I must say, so far, the private messages I have received, most people say 1500 hours UTC would suit them all. I'm easy. You guys must just tell me what to do. We'll have to make a little list eventually and put it to the vote like we did last year. So, bottom line, we have 1400 UTC, we have 1500 UTC, and we have Ed at 1700 UTC. So, think about that, and we'd like to hear your comments. Okay, Leon, if you wouldn't mind starting up your net, and I'll hand it over to you. I just want to get my own thing to switch off. ZS1 Mexico, Mexico to please take it from ZS6 Yankee, India.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Just see, do I have sound? Come on, talk.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, long delay. Yes, hello to everybody on the net. Yeah, I also have a bit of a funny here today. I wanted to use this baby. It was on the receiving computer, which I used for the whatever you call it, that net that I had with the KwaZulu-Natal people. But I've completed that project, the flight termination system, so we don't have that online meeting anymore. So I thought, okay, I'll put it back onto the transmit computer so that I could show you the progress with the shrinking of the cricket transceiver. But it does funny things. Yeah, I plugged it in and everything, and that's what happened. Yeah, it worked for a couple of seconds, and then the picture froze. That's the last frame as the thing was lying on its side. So that doesn't help. I rebooted the computer just in time to catch the net, but it's still frozen, so I'll have to have a look at that. Anyway, so yeah, the whole thing is tethered together with fine silicon wires now. This is the whole synthesizer bit. I must just find a much smaller display, 2 by 16 display. This display is going to take up way too much space, and I mean, you only want to read the frequency, gee whiz. So I must seriously see where I can find a smaller display, but it's working perfectly. And yeah, I'm happy with what that part is doing. Still want to do a little bit of titivation on the receiver still, and then that's done. Then I can finish off the transmitter. Okay, Gary, I've given you my situation with the times. I'm quite flexible once I'm on retirement again, but at the moment it's difficult. But it doesn't matter. I'm not that important, so if I lose out now and then, it's not serious. Okay, right, Martin, I'm going to give it to you with your D star G8 KOE for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Mike 0 Papa India Tango ZS6YI.
Right, there we go. We've got audio. Yeah, we've got audio. Yeah, it was a bit short notice. I wasn't prepared for that. Yeah, times. Yeah, I'm quite flexible. preference, and it is a preference. 1400 would be my preference, but I could do 1500, could do 1700. 1600 probably would be the most difficult for me, but I don't think that's an option. But my preference is for 1400, but it is just a preference. So that's my 10 penneth, as they say in the UK. Martin's not online at the moment. I was going to thank him, but maybe I'll do that on the second over. He jumped in on Cat 24 yesterday, and I thought he did bloody well, considering that he only had a matter of about 24 hours to actually put something together. But anyhow, I shall thank him on the next over. But I haven't really been doing much during the week. Any spare time that I've got, I've just been basically playing around with the build of what will be my new receive PC, and it was looking quite well today, and I made the mistake of actually connecting it all up, so I was going to use it today, but believe it or not, after it had been on about 10 minutes, for some unknown reason, the login screen came up and it locked up. And I don't understand why the login screen should have come up, because all the power saving and screen saving has been turned off. So I had to quickly remove it and put the old one back, and I'm running on the old one at the moment. So anyhow, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. As I say, it's a lovely day here. The sun's out. It's reasonably warm for this time of year. It's about 18 degrees outside, but the sun is out, which is quite nice, considering it's been raining for quite a few weeks, and this week has been probably the driest that it's been in quite some time, so it's been quite nice, especially today. Anyhow, who's next on the list? Benno. So I hope you're all getting ready, Benno, because I'm going to pass it over to you, I think. But I will stay around for a second over. So this is M0PIT. I'm going to hand over to Benno, so I'm going to put up a test card. Does help to
Yeah, sorry. I had to put a little extra time in there in order to figure out who I will have to pass it to. But there will be two people after me. No problem for that. Hi guys. Haven't watched the Cat 24 Part 2 yet. I will wait for the DATV, for the YouTube replay, and yeah, sorry for that, because it was too much to do on one day yesterday. It was one filled day with a lot of things, and I had to skip some of them. I would say too much of them, but yeah, you can only do one thing at a time, unfortunately, and so much to do, so little time. This morning I did some fox hunting, so I'm just back out of the boots, fresh shower, lunch, and it's still in time just to start up for the net. So this is a pretty perfect time for me, Gary, but yeah, as things are progressing. I understand England. I also understand the rest of the world, and someone will have a problem anyway how you would like it, and I would say stick to the same time as people should be used to this time. But that's my opinion. I always, if I organize something, I hardly want to change anything to time and date and things like that, because if you change something, it will go into someone's agenda wrong, and it will give you another problem. Anyway, so if I would to have to say is stick to what you're doing, and you're doing fine. And because of daylight saving time, yeah, some of us have a problem, others don't. Others have less problem if you change the time, and you won't get anyone happy in the whole world, because somewhere along the line someone will be having a problem because of dinner, lunch, other occupying things. So yeah, well, what did I do over the last week? I was pretty successful in doing some all-star things. I shouldn't show you this so far. I should show you this. This is my simple all-star setup at the moment. Running a normal Baofeng handheld, no modification needed. It's on a dummy to get rid of any RFID at the moment, but if you would box this better, you get it obviously much better, and you can use the full power out of the Baofeng if you want. I already did it on a remote antenna, and it gave me several 10, 15, 30 kilometers of working. Yeah, I understand Martin is done with his washing up. So if you want to have it over, if you want the next over, Martin, I can squeeze you in, Paul, if he lets you. But otherwise you will get behind the list after Frank. So if you want to squeeze in, just tell me. So this is my simple setup. Okay, no problem. So this is the a normal Baofeng, normal connectors going in to this FUP. I learned, but it's basically this €1.50 USB card from AliExpress, and I put a piece of PCB behind it because I had to do some additional resistors and capacitors and 2 transistors to switch everything on the right way. But this is a very simple, I think, 2 transistors, 2 capacitors, and some resistors around it. So this is the whole change, and it goes into a Raspberry Zero W, the W2, the Raspberry Zero 2. So anything better than a Raspberry 3 or Raspberry 3 and up will do, and for that I use this Raspberry Zero W, and obviously it gets its power from there. That's basically it. So that was the cheapest solution. I did a different solution as well, because it still needed to do some modification on here, which is well documented on the World Wide Web by several stations. But I also did do this one, and let me move it a little bit up. That's better. This is a PCB where on one side you have the USB input, a normal plug B to make it a little bit more sturdy. You have a chip here, which is the actually audio chip with a crystal, some putties to get the volume a little bit down to the right spec if you want, and a timer which works like a watchdog. If something goes wrong, really, it won't transmit your signal too long. And here are the two audio plugs, which then go directly straight forward to the Baofeng. Some jumpers to play around, and a optical option plug to use anything else than the Baofeng. If you want to connect it to a transceiver or something, you use this, and you use a simple the wires to your likings. So audio and PTT is also on this plug as well. Very simple, very straightforward. Version 1, because I ordered the boards this last Thursday. They're on the mail. I don't have them in, but I will get them in probably this week or next week, depending on shipping time. And then there are some hidden things there, 2 capacitors, nothing else. So this is the simple solution if you want to have a complete board. I'm going to test it and probably build this for, well, the chip is about €2. This one is about 50 cents. The whole lot, I think, about 5 or 10 euros. Should be done easily. The plugs probably will be most expensive next to the chip. So this is my progress this week, and I have had a great week with the internet provider. Last week I found out that I was behind a CG net, whatever that means. Well, you can look it up in the YouTube, but apparently CG is the new way of dividing IP addresses from the internet providers, and they decided to give me somewhere along the last few months a different IP address without any port forwarding possibilities. Fortunately, there was an option, and it took me a whole weekend, and a few days after that I'm on port forwarding and on a separate network. So now I have a decent IP address outside, and I have some port forwardings to the internal apparatus. But still, presto, it doesn't work for the All-Star yet. So yeah, I can use several other ports to different Raspberries here in the house. That works flawlessly, so it must be something in my setup. So I need to figure out what's on there. But well, that's basically our current status. Martin said continue, so I pass it on to Paul. Passing it on to you, Paul, from Papa Alpha 3, Foxtrot Bravo. Oh, I missed something. Well, I can show you quickly. I got a new toy from a local ham, which said he would build me something. Let me go back to my desk cam. And that's this beast. Apparently, this should deliver me from 2 watt in, about 250 watts on the HF, and an easy 100 watts on DATV on HF, which will give me the opportunity to bring some signal onto 6 meters or 10 meters within soon. The antenna is already outside, but this will be my winter project, running a lot of power on the HF, on DATV. I wonder if more people will work on that soon to do. Okay, well, that's another fun thing. It will be continued. Okay, passing it on to you, Paul, from Papa Alpha 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-Ray, and the test card is on.
Testing audio. That seems to work. That's good. And put the camera on. That also seems to work. Hopefully. Yeah. That's great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you watching. And those participating in the net, good to see you all, guys. Gary, thanks for hosting the net. It still means a lot of organizing, even if you talk about the times for the net. I completely understand it. Well, perhaps some people shortly before we started the net saw me powering up. And powering up was successful. Again, I see I make a bit too much power. I will lower it down a bit. Just a moment. Hopefully it's not too much. Well, I give it some extra again. So. I hope it is still convenient for all of you. I powered up and I noticed an effect with my setup that initially when I powered up I do not have to give too much power to be overpowered on the satellite, and then some, let's say, minutes later then I have to provide somewhat more input power towards the power amplifier. I do not know where that effect comes from, but okay, I can live with it, and hopefully you are also able to live with it. The weather in Limmen at the moment, we had a lot of sun during the last days, and even this morning the weather was great. We have a temperature of 21 degrees at the moment, which is really warm because we are living at the end of October, and that is much warmer than it should be actually. But although we had nice weather, I had to recover from a tough cold that started on Tuesday this week, and I felt a bit sick, but it's much better at the moment. Thought about the time schedule for the worldwide net, Gary and other people. I said that there is a slight preference for 3 o'clock. That means 15 hours. 1700 hours, sorry Ed, but that's a bit more difficult due to the fact that I'm preparing dinner at that time normally, and also this time is not difficult, but it means that there are some practical things to do. It's lunchtime now, so 1500 hours would be preferred, Gary, for me. But again, it's a slight preference. I think this is applicable for most of you. On Sundays, there are also social activities, of course, to which I want to participate or will participate. So I cannot guarantee that I will be available anytime. Doesn't matter. Okay, what did I do last week? Well, first of all, as stated, I was recovering from a tough cold. And furthermore, there was a house delivered to my daughter, a new house, which is great, of course, but there is still a lot to do. And that's what we all have as technicians, I think. We always can be helpful. So that's going to happen, I think during the next 4 to 5 weeks to come. Really still a lot to do. I also told that I'm still working on the spectrum analyzer, waiting for parts. Some parts did arrive, that is the good news, from China, but still waiting for some other parts. You know these little bags. And then hopefully I will be able to restore both spectrum analyzers. Let's see. Yeah, and also, well, other people were talking about issues, like Phil with the PC issues and Leon with the camera issues. Well, I'm facing an issue with the mini tuner. That means the mini tuner express, for some reason, it is no longer willing to connect to the USB port. And well, sometimes it works, but most of the times it does not work anymore. And I do not know what it's causing. Well, I decided to not further investigate at this moment. It's better that I do assemble the winter hill. All the components are laying at the table here, so I simply have to assemble the winter hill and replace the whole stuff. And then I can focus on repairing the Mini Tuner Express. So that's what it is gonna be. But strange. One would not expect that. Such an FTDI chip simply stops communicating over the USB port, and that seems to have happened. Listened at Leon and Phil, of course, and Benno. I saw the All-Star simple setup. It really looks simple. It's great what you made. But I don't think that I will copy this soon because, well, what's in my mind, perhaps I see it wrong, but it's internet communication with only the last, let's say, 1 meter over the radio path. And I enjoy radio communications. Okay, and you were talking about carrier grade NOT in your provider network. That's nasty. If there is no port forwarding, basically you cannot use that network for a lot of our applications. So that's horrible. But I thought, would it be an IP version 6 possibility? Because IP version 6 addresses, of course, are all standalone addresses. So perhaps you are able to elaborate on that, Benno, later. And great to see your power amplifier for HF. So keep us posted, please. Well, that's it for the moment from the Netherlands. I think that next on the list would be Ed. And if I make that statement, I propose that Martin ends the list today then. Okay, that would be my proposal. So Ed, please take the camera and the microphone. It's all yours. From Papa Echo number 1 Alpha Victor Papa.
What?
Brian, please say over when you finish talking. Over.
What? Over?
Do you see the wire yet? Over.
No.
No what? Over.
No, over.
Okay, I'm going to start feeding it through. Over.
Wait, if you haven't started feeding it, why'd you ask me if I could see it?
Didn't copy that. Over.
I said, why'd you ask me if I could see it if you haven't started feeding it? Over.
Oh, that's better. I can hear you now. Over. Do you see it yet? Over.
You know, you're a jackass. For the record, I don't want to hang out with you anymore when this is over.
When this is what, Brian? Over.
I said I don't want to hang out with you anymore when this is over.
When this is what? You got to finish your sentence. Over.
That's it. My sentence is over.
Your sentence is what, Brian? Over.
My sentence is... Wait a minute. I have to say over even if the sentence ends with the word over?
Ends with the word what, Brian? Over.
Oh, I see the wire.
You see the wire what? Over.
Over!
Alright guys, hello, Gary, Leon Martin, I didn't see Marty yet, so hopefully he's gonna come up soon. Phil, Benno, Paul, and Frank is gonna be after me. Hello, everybody. Weather here is kind of windy. I wonder my signal is gonna vary a little because it's really windy, cloudy and windy. Okay, nice images from everyone. What else? Oh, Paul, you mentioned about your Miniature Express. I got similar problem a few weeks ago. Took me some time to find out, but it was very similar what we are facing. That ends to be, there is a jumper inside when you can, I don't remember if it's a JP3, I really don't remember exactly the number, but it's the only jumper that you can move from internal power to external power. I mean, there is a position when you put the jumper, it will take the 5 volts from the USB and feed it through the equipment. And the other position, you use an external power supply. Okay, so those are the only posts that are there, and that was rusty. I had to clean it and deoxidate it, and then everything started working again, no problem at all. I found it because I used to put external power, and it was this thing was not detecting, and sometimes it detects. I said, well, that's strange. And then when I move to the internal power, I mean taking the power from the USB, it will pop out, it will get on, and it passed through all testing, but it would not decode any image. I said, well, that's strange. So I just decided to clean those posts, and everything started working again. So hopefully the solution for you is gonna be as simple as that, hopefully. All right. Well, regarding the time, if unfortunately it seems most of you guys are changing 1500. So if it's been chosen 1500, that's gonna be my last participation on this net. Well, not the last participation, unless I get the lunch cancelled for some reason. But no, the 1500 is not gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to join. I mean, this time here, like Benno said, it's excellent. This time is okay for me. 1400 gonna be 11 o'clock. It's yeah, that's okay. I mean, for a quick maybe a quick transmission, I'm gonna be okay on 1400. But 1500, nope, that's not possible for me. So I wish you guys a great net. Have fun. This net was developed by me, believe it or not. I have put this net with the help of Saro, and that's been very nice to participate and know all you guys. And 1700, yeah, would be another one good for me, but you know, those are the 3 options that I can keep joining. 1400 this time, and 1700. 1500 I'll no longer join. Actually, if we are thinking about UK convenience only, maybe we can set the time as the same time they have their net, I believe, on Thursday. I really don't remember what time it starts on Thursdays, the BATC net. So that time should be more convenient for the UK people. I really don't join the BATC net because I'm still working. Because it's Thursday, so I'm still working. I cannot leave work to participate to the net. But on a Sunday, I think will be gonna be okay to me. All right. That said, so let's go back to South Africa with Frank. Zulu Sierra 6 Golf Echo from Papa Yankee 2, Radio November. Over.
Okay, let's just check the sound. Okay, let's just check. Yeah, okay. Working. Good day, everybody. I wanted to come up quickly today to mention a problem, but I'll come back to that in a moment. The timing first. Actually, that summer and winter time business is a pain, to no great benefit to anybody from what I can gather. So the time doesn't really matter. Whatever time it is not quite right. It either interferes with the tea, or interferes with the supper, or it interferes with the visitors. So I'm flexible, and if I can, I will, and if I'm not, well, that's it. So really uncritical. Hello Paul, nice to see you again, long time no see. And it's strange that you should bring up your Mini Tuner Express problem, because that's exactly what I wanted to bring up. About 2 weeks ago it started behaving funny. It was a hot day, summer is coming here. After about 10 minutes it stopped working, and I had to restart the program, and it was working for about 6 minutes, and it stopped working, and I restarted, and then after 2 minutes it stopped working, and that sort of was it. So to me it looked very much like a temperature problem, I thought, because you know it was a hot day. But now the Mini Tuner runs very hot, and that's why the Express, runs very hot. That's when I installed it. I already put a little fan in there, and I checked it out, put my finger on it. I saw all nice temperatures, no problem. Couldn't figure out what it is. Eventually, one day in desperation, I used another USB port, the one that can supply more current, and that fixed it up to about 90% of the time. So every now and then it still fails, but it's a lot better. So now I was wondering, maybe it's a PC that USB port power supply was on its limit, and as it got hot, it shut down. It's a possibility, but its pin theory is also a possibility, because it's also power related. So thanks for that hint. I will look at that and see if there's something funny going on. Then while I'm on, at mysterious things, I noticed it in the past, always every now and then in the transmission the picture goes negative for a few seconds, and then it goes back again, and so on. So I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm using OpenTuner at the moment. I've noticed it when there were zero packets on the signal, that can happen, but it has enough. So I'm not quite sure where that comes in. And then with OpenTuner, again, I'm not quite sure if it is linked to the Mini Tuner Express. When it has been running for an hour or two or so, it stops decoding. It comes up with a decoding error. The spectrum is still working, and I have to restart it. Yeah, okay, so these are my woes for today. If somebody has any ideas what it could be. Otherwise, nice hot day today, 30 degrees. We had a heck of a wind. There was a thunderstorm in the distance, but no rain, so it decided otherwise. And that's it. Martin, G8KOE, you are next from ZS6 Golf Echo.
Right, we're hoping it's going to work. I didn't have a chance to see it. I tested it earlier, but not lately. Gary's got some problems with DATV Red at the moment, so he's asked me to sort of take over. So I'm used to doing things in a hurry. Time-wise, I would like to cover that first. Ed, it's most important that we don't move it to a time you can't make, I think. I think that would be a big shame, and I'd be against moving it if it's a time you can't make it. So that's the first thing I would say. So I think whatever time is chosen ought to be chosen so she can make it. It would be a big loss. That's what I think anyway. It's a struggle for me to make it that little bit earlier. 1400 would be no problem for me to make it, but I could always just come in on the second half of the net. And then during the summer months, it's sort of it's a difficult one. Evening wise, I can flex most other times. Lunchtime, one has to keep a little bit happy with the XYL. I don't cook, so it's either I eat okay or I don't. But anyway, right, I'm doing a lot of umming. I've started monitoring the number of ums that I do, and now looking at other people doing it. See, I've done it again. Thinking sort of as what else was I going to comment on? Benno. That interface I thought was brilliant. If you haven't seen, I did mention you a fair bit and showed an image of what you've done. So whether I should or shouldn't, I didn't have time to ask permission. I just was fighting to get some pictures together to put out. Whether those who do, I don't know. I was sitting down having my tea at about 5:30 UK time. I get a phone call, and can you do something tomorrow on the... So I had less than 24 hours to put something together, and it's the first thing I've ever put together. And that's it really. So it's up there on YouTube at the moment, I think. I did watch it this morning. It was there pretty quickly. So yeah, I was installing Zoom and all sorts of things. First time I've used Zoom, and one thing and another. But I was reasonably happy. I kept missing things, but the images that I put up were to put me in order. Whilst we're talking about All-Star, the small screen, we'll put that up there. That's who's connected at the moment to the node. So let's go back to me. And Paul, not interested because it's not real radio. Right. Do you watch the chat out of interest? Do you monitor that, I wonder?
I was also connected to you.
Hello. Yes, it's just do you watch the chat? I've just been called up on was the first thing. So why couldn't you set up a radioless node that just monitored the talkback channel, or what was so if you didn't have your mic turned up or you were doing something wrong, someone could call up and say, "Hey Paul, isn't that the same as looking at the chat? Or am I missing something there?" I'll throw that over to you for the next time round. You don't have to talk on it, you could just monitor it. That was my main idea, was that if you're actually working through and you've changed scenes, which is very easy in OBS, and you've forgotten to enable the microphone, rather than everybody sits there going, they can go, "Your mic's not on," and you'd switch it on. You don't have to reply with the radio. You just listen, or you watch as you do on the chat. So it's just a duplication of that. That's what I think, anyway. You're going to tell me I'm wrong now. Talking about Benno. Oh, yeah, Benno, have you checked the firewall if you're using ASL3, which I'm not sure whether you are or not, but there's a firewall in there. I had a problem that I'd set a port that was just outside the firewall, which Phil picked up on, which was why I had something that wasn't working. Couldn't understand for ages, but it was that. That's what I was looking at. So I'm not monitoring the audio, so it's just why it's not displaying up on my return side of things. I should have killed it in my earpiece. Anyway, now I'm not sure whether Leon's still on or not, because as I wasn't here to sort of see things. So it was Leon, then it was me. So if Leon's gone there, Phil, I'm going to throw it back to you, and you can bring some sense to the conversation, perhaps. So I'll put a test card over to you there, Phil. From a, I feel worn out. Leon's still there. Thank you. Right, it's over to Leon. I've been told on. So Leon, ZS1 Mike, can you please take it and bring some sanity to things? I'll put a test card and it's all yours.
Okay, Martin, G8KOE. And the group from ZS1 Mike. Yes, thanks to All Star, but I don't want it. To me, it's very, very simple. We radio amateurs. If we want to hang on to the net for whatever reason, then we may as well be on Skype. Then we can all talk together. My philosophy is you must be completely independent. I don't have internet on any of these computers here. This is the receive computer, that's the transmit computer, not coupled to the internet. Nothing updates, so nothing changes. It always works. As for USB, I hate it. There's only one thing I hate more than USB, and that's LAN. Where are the days of nice RS-232 or Centronics? You plug it in and it works. It's not asking for a driver or a DLL or a this rubbish or that. And if it works today, it will work tomorrow. USB, it works today. You have no guarantee it's going to work tomorrow. The moment you change a plug, you upset the whole apple cart and I hate computers, full stop. But they're handy. Like side cutters, you have to have them, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, not very much going around. As I said, my other camera, I've actually unplugged it, this freaking USB thing, and I plugged it back, and it still shows that same frame. Well, how the heck that works, I don't know. But anyway, I'll have to reboot the whole computer again, but not today. I wanted to show you how nicely this thing dials up the frequencies and stuff. It really works a treat. But anyway, maybe some other day when I've got the... because there's too many dangling things, I can't hold it up here and power it up. I'm scared of something might short. Okay, yeah, Phil was talking in general. I saw you earlier on next to this frequency, Phil, playing your video of the Radio Museum and that big computer thing, decryptor thing. It was very nice, and the video quality was good. Benno, that's a nice PC board layout you have there. The thing there that looks like a KiCad thing. I wish I could learn that KiCad because it's got nice features, but it's so different to Tango. I mean, I've got it, and I was forced to draw one board with it, but I mean, just setting the width of a track and things, I battled. It's totally different to what was the first one I used? SmartWorks, yeah. They all work the same, but not this thing. The KiCad, oh no. But yeah, if that's the first program you learn to work and you manage it, stick to it. I wish I could work with it, but anyway. So I'm using my Tango. Nobody else can read the files anymore. Okay, the mini tuner, Paul. Yeah, again it's USB, eh? I don't have any problems with my mini tuners, except that one, which one is that you battle to set the offset on the LNB, the frequency. Oh, it's not easy to work with. But this mini tuner Mark 1 or whatever, it just works. And I have two of them. I only use the one, the other I must still put in a box. But they always work. And I'm quite happy. I don't need 2 pictures. I don't need 4 pictures. I'm happy with 1. I want the best resolution on the 1 picture that I'm watching. So I need all the pixels and lines and whatever. Okay. So Paul, yeah, I don't know where you must look for that. I don't have the computer knowledge. Ed, very nice. Very, very nice cartoon there. That was very good. And I agree with Martin, we have to accommodate you with the time slots and things. That's very important. And Frank, you say you also have a mini tuner issue. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm happy with mine. Okay, gents, it is now 5 to 4 here. So I'm going to say cheerio. Thanks for coming up and having a chat. Gary tried to phone me, but it rang, and when I picked up, there was nothing, not even signal. Then I phoned him back, and it just rings and rings. So I think he's got a total communications shutdown there on their side. Maybe they stole the cables again or something. So yeah, I don't know what he wanted to tell me. Anyway, okay. So it goes to full 73s from ZS1 Mike 0 PIT for the group from ZS1MM saying cheerio.
Yeah, thanks, Leon. Yeah, your camera problem. I'm not sure if you're running OBS, but like a lot of people, I was having problems with audio sync, and the problem with me turned out to be not the audio at all. It was to do with the camera. And when that used to happen, when my audio sync used to go out, I used to remove the camera from OBS and reinstall it, and the audio sync would come back in. So if you're running OBS, what I would suggest is that you just remove your camera from OBS and then reinstate it. That might help. Anyhow, that was some experiences that I had with USB cameras. Yeah, time-wise, yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea to lose Ed. It's important that Ed stays. And as for timing with me, yeah, as I said earlier, I don't really have a problem. 1600 would be a problem for me. 1300 would be fine, 1400, even 1500, they're all fine. So it's just 1600 is really difficult. So that's my 10 penneth. And Martin, yesterday, I thought it was brilliant. Your presentation, you put that together in, you know, a matter of whatever it was, 12 hours. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. It's very difficult to put a presentation together, but with that time scale, yeah, that's brilliant. Absolutely well done. And if anybody's gets round to watching it, I'm pretty certain that they would say the same thing. What else have I got on my piece of paper? I don't really think I have much else actually. Next week I will be playing around with my new Receive PC and yeah, trying to sort out why it timed out and the login screen came up and then froze, which is a bit strange. But anyhow, that'll be what I should be playing around with. So apart from that, I don't really think I have much else to say to everybody really, other than have a good week, etc. And I'm sure that Gary will notify us at some point what time the next worldwide net will be. So who's next on the list? Benno. So I think I shall hand it over to Benno, assuming he's still there, fingers crossed, etc, etc. So let's put up a test card.
Yeah, that seems still to work. Do I have a camera? Yeah, sorry for that. I was a little playing around. Yeah. Well, first of all, Paul, yes, you're right. And Leon, I agree. You should be able to be completely independent. But there is that but. Yeah, you watch the chat, apparently you want to have some kind of feedback and you're using the internet for that. So the point is, why not use another channel of the internet and use an audio channel? That's basically Martin's point, and I slightly agree on that. I look a little bit further and I like to communicate, and no way I would be able to reach all of you through the air directly. So I'm using that satellite which Qatar gave us, which is marvelous, because there's no way I would bring to this kind of picture to you guys without the use of anything else which is made by someone else. And I like to think about the internet the same way. I mean, I like to communicate, and if you like to communicate with me, I like to use this small handy, have a decent audio channel, decent voice quality, and can talk to anyone in the whole wide world with this handy from this address, using the internet. Obviously, it's just the way it works. And yeah, if this doesn't work, you have this, and you have so many other options to get any internet or any solution to communicate. And this is just another solution, and I like this solution for the quality, because the audio quality is superb, I would say, and for the ease of use. Currently, and Martin has shown us this before, I can show you it again. Can I quickly move it a little bit, make it a little bit smaller? No, I can't. It's too big. This is better. Well, actually, in the blue in the middle is Martin's connection, Martin's note, and there are so many. One of them is me. One of them is is Paul from Austria, some of us England, and they're all connected, and as long as they are on having some kind of equipment. Why is my radio, sorry, now I'm going to create a mess. An easy way is to shut it off. Anyway, this is how the connection is, and it's versatile. I mean, you can also change everything on this, and the next time I will be the blue one and everyone connects to me, and it's just how it works. If the whole in England the internet is gone, you can use this. You're using the chat, so why not use another channel on the internet? And that's for back talking. Is that a good idea? Or for using it on a different way, it's one of those extra channels. And yes, I compare it even with the BATC running on the Thursday evening net. They also have a Tuesday evening net, and the Tuesday evening net is completely on the internet. It's completely on the internet. And why would you ever do that? Well, same like this, to communicate with each other and to have a nice talk what you're all doing, and changing a lot of, where's my face, what's happening here? So much things change. So it's a way of communicating, and if you would have some kind of back channel, Leon, I would say switch off and switch on OBS the channel. I should be able to show you quickly. Let me see if I can do this way. Oops. So if you have the audio, the desk cam, for instance. So if I switch on the desk cam, you know sometimes the connection is dead. Now it's still working. No, it's dead. It's completely dead. I'm moving around the camera, but it's completely dead. I just go to this desk cam, click on it twice, click on a different device, for instance Chroma Cam or whatever, go back to the original one, and now suddenly it works again. Isn't it just simple as that? I mean, if you lose the connection somehow on USB, this is a simple solution to get it working again without restarting or reinstalling, or just click on the camera, choose whatever order option, go back to the one you wanted, and it works. So this is a simple solution, and I would have told you that on your direct audio channel. Hi. Passing it on to Paul, APV, and yeah, I agree, you should be completely independent from the internet, but while we have it, it's bloody well handy sometimes to get some information on some extra connection possible, to get some solutions there. 73's all. 73's from Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray, and looking forward next week, depending on what time and if I would be able to be around. Passing it on to you, Paul, from PA3 Fox Bravo X-Ray.
Check audio. Check audio. Again, there's a bit much output, so I will lower it again. It's a strange effect, actually. Really, really strange. even lowering the output seems to be difficult, guys. Okay, I will leave it this way. Yeah, first of all, Ed, your cartoon really was great fun. I do not know how you do it, whether you really create them or simply find them, search for it and find them. At least it was great fun. So thank you for that. Yeah, also the Mini Tuner Express, your hint is really great. That specific jumper, that could well be the problem, because yeah, the way in which you describe the issue, I have exactly the same issue. So it could well be that that jumper is also corroded within my device. Yeah, and it's really only the Mini Tuner Express, because I own two other Mini Tuners. One is part of the portable equipment that I'm using, and the other one, that's the one which I'm using now with the extended FTDI devices. Those Mini Tuners really always work. So in that aspect, Leon, I also have Mini Tuners that always work, but the Mini Tuner Express, that is causing the headaches. Well, Ed, you talked about the time for the worldwide net. Well, I cannot imagine a network completely without you. So I said I do have a slight preference for that specific time, but if it would be another time, I try to adapt to that, because it's better to have you here than doing it without you. Yeah, we are talking about a worldwide net, and you make it worldwide. Yeah, at least you are one of them. Frank, good to see you again. Yeah, it's already some month ago that we met here in the garden. It was really great to see you and to talk to you, and now again it was great to see you. I see that my video inverts sometimes. Is that a problem at the transmission side, or is it a problem at the reception side? I do not know. Yeah, the Mini Tuner Express, you talked about the temperature of that device. Indeed, that is true. The Mini Tuner Express becomes much warmer than the other Mini Tuner, and I did exactly the same. So inside the cabinet there's a small fan, and it's passing air over the Mini Tuner Express, and that really helped initially. Okay, yeah, Martin, regarding your contribution to the DATV net, that must have been a great effort, and it was good. It was really good. So in that respect, it was brilliant. And let me be clear, I'm not against it, guys. I'm not against All-Star, no, not at all, but yeah, it's not really on top of my mind. And in that respect, Benno, there is another device, talking about the Netherlands, which I did develop and which I built. I built a complete network for it, at least for KPN. And it also works over the internet. So if I really want to reach you, then I can use that device. And thanks to Gary, we also have a network there. Yeah. Okay, I understood that Gary has a problem with DATV Red. Now, well, he will be able to solve that. Yeah. I'm reading my note. Yeah, USB connections lost, and to restore the USB connections, there are several ways to do it, but the way in which you explained, that's a good one, Benno. Okay, well, that's it for the moment. I simply want to wish everyone watching the net over YouTube or really on the satellite, I wish you a good week. Hope to see you soon again, and we will hear from Gary what new time it's going to be on the Sundays. So I hand over the microphone and the camera to Ed again in Brazil, and until next time.
Okay, 1, 2. All right. Thanks, Paul. Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa. This is PY2 Radio November coming back. No, I understand it's very difficult to accommodate everybody's convenience regarding the time. I was joking with Gary here, so that we should blame the sun. So the sun is causing all this mess, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's start a few observations. Leon, I do have some issues with the same camera that you're trying to use here. I don't know. For me, the problem is this camera, not exactly specifically the USB, but sometimes it loses connection. I have to reset everything. And I have a constant alarm on Windows devices. When you list Windows devices status, it always alarming. I don't know, which is missing some driver. I don't know. I tried to fix, but I wasn't able. But if I reset sometimes and plug and plug again, it starts working again. So this camera is a little sensitive, in my opinion. But anyways, the other thing is about your audio. I don't know if it was just me, but it seems you have a problem with your microphone. This one is the right channel. Right channel was failing. I don't know, some bad connection or something like that. I was able to listen to you on the left channel fine, but the right channel was not very good, but I could hear you very well. Regarding the connections, yeah, for data connections, those are still the winners. I use them all the time. Those are DB15s, and they have perfect, connection. They are the best thing so far for data connection, or even low voltage and low current. Yeah, those are those real connections, not those USBs or those new connectors the guys just invented. It's easy to solder. Well, this is bulletproof, this type of connections. The only downsides for those connectors are to make the square hole to fit them. It's difficult to make a square hole to fit them. I'm working on this right now, and yeah, it really gives me a hard time. But anyways, at least I'm gonna get a good connection. About Martin, G8 QO-100, and also Paul, regarding the digital communications. Well, that's for sure. Amateur radio was much cooler, much more fun before the internet. I mean, if I call my daughter, hey, look to this image. It's coming from Netherlands. This, this high definition image, this high definition audio is come all the way via satellite from Netherlands, from Europe, from South Africa. And she would be amazed. But nowadays with the internet, she was saying, see my friends in Japan, my friends in in Australia. So internet brings the type of connection, but for sure it's interesting. I do like, I mean, I for digital, like DMR, D-Star, All-Star, all those type of digital communications, I'm interested. I mean, I don't like much the audio quality, because for the voice it sounds a little awkward, but the integration is what really it's interesting. The integration of all the system, and it's nice. And I remember a few years ago I used to run a software on the sound card that I used to decode D star, DMR, and I think APCO25, maybe that's the Motorola protocol, APCO25, because most of the public services, police and most of the public services migrated to this type of digital modulation, and I was able to, the ones of course that were not encrypted, the ones were not encrypted, I was able to listen to them, and I thought it was very interesting. Yeah, it's another option to play with technology. What else? For Frank, Zulu Sierra 6 Golf Echo, if you're still there, I do have similar problems with OpenTuner. Actually, what I do is try to change the decoder that it's using. Let me try to show you here. Not this one. I'll try to switch. I'm trying to switch my. Yeah, here. You see the media settings. If you click on actions and then go to the media, to the settings, action settings, media settings. I just learned. I don't know why. Probably because it's some issue with my PC filters or anything. It's some problem with my PC, maybe with yours as well. But if you have three options here: VLC, FFmpeg, and MPV. I just switch it to a FFmpeg, and I decode all the signals perfectly. There is no more, gray switching or inverted images or stuff like that. It gets very stable. It takes a little longer to start decoding the image, but as soon as I start decoding, the image gets perfect. There is no instabilities on the image. I'm using FFmpeg, and that's what I'm using with OpenTuner. I don't know exactly the reason, but maybe Tom for sure can explain that. Anyways. All right, guys. Thank you very much for the net. Great to see. I'm not sure if Gary is back. Got problems with the DATV Red, but anyways, thanks a lot. Oh, I forgot to mention to Beno. Hey, Beno, nice amplifier, nice deck you have there. I doubt it will support the ATV because those LDMOS, they get really hot. Believe me, they get very, very hot, unless you get some kind of liquid refrigeration there. Otherwise, depending on the timing you're transmitting, it doesn't much matter. It doesn't much matter about the power level. But I have few decks with LDMOS here. It doesn't matter. Like I have for 1 kilowatt. It doesn't matter. I can put like 100 watts only output. It will warm up very, very quickly and a lot. So I have to put a lot of dissipation, and I still don't have liquid refrigeration, but I'm seriously thinking about to implement that. And one thing I can advise you is to put a thermostat. You can buy them easily in China and AliExpress. It's very cheap. So you put a thermostat and set the max temp. Set the max temperature. When it reaches certain temperature that you set there, it will trigger the relay. And in my case, when it triggers the relay, it will cut off the bias, so no longer transmit. So maybe that's a good, it's a good insurance. All right. Frank, back to you. Zulu Sierra 6 Golf Echo. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm always forgetting things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Paul, I don't make anything. I just bring here and max I do is some slightly modification on the images or something. I just capture some images that I think is related and funny, and I just reproduce them here. But I don't make anything. I mean, sometimes some slight modification. That's all. Zulu Sierra 6 Golf Echo. Go ahead, please. From Papa Yankee 2 Romeo November 7312. Okay, now I cannot.
I hope this will work. Yeah, it's working. What a jaw. Thank you, Frank, for allowing me in. Okay, guys, just to get this time thing sorted, I think the best compromise of it all will be what we did last year when the English clocks went back. And that is to go to 1400 UTC. That'll take a lot of the English guys just out of the lunch side. I know, Ed, you won't be on as often. We're going to persuade you to come on as often. What we'll do, we'll put you right on top of the list, Ed. Then you can go quick, not a problem. And then if you need to run, it won't be a train smash. I'll put you and Leon right on top. So if that'll be okay with everyone, I've looked at all the. We've got three sizes, none fits all. So I think we go with 1400. That's what we did last season, and it seemed to work out okay. It wasn't the greatest compromise, but it seemed to work out okay. I like Ed's idea of 1700 hours, but then again, it might be too late for the English guys because they will be at about 5 p.m., which means they might want to have their dinner. Yeah, worldwide net, worldwide issues with the sun. Quite right, Ed. That's that Don sun causing this. Okay, with that, Frank, thank you for allowing me in. I hope it came out okay. ZS6 Golf Echo, ZS6YI.
Okay, very quickly, I have to run. Coffee time. Leon, if you're still listening, yes, I also used to use Tango, and as long as possible. But once I used Windows 10, that was the end of it. It looked like it was working until you started to use certain things, and it didn't work anymore. So sadly, I had to stop that lot and use something else. Okay. Digital modes. Yeah, I'm not a digital man myself. I know a few basics, that's it. I can help myself to a certain degree. But that's the beauty of it. Everyone to his own. If something, what is now the right English word, gets your interest, then you do it and you learn, and that is what it's all about. Internet, I love it, but I mentioned before it scares the hell out of me, because if that fails, even only regionally, you've had it. Nothing works anymore. Your telephone works not anymore, your bank doesn't work anymore, you can't buy anything anymore, you starve to death. So I'm a great believer in having a non-internet backup. I mean, the satellite too, it's relying on that satellite in the sky. The rest is more or less you can do with your own equipment, so that is only one weak link potentially, but all the others, whew. Anyway, that's why I still keep my shortwave stuff and my VHF stuff, the normal one, the analog one, as long as it will work, and the digitals to a certain extent. But yeah, by all means, I mean, it's exciting. You can do enormous things with it, and why not? Okay, I won't be coming back, so I pass it on to Martin. G8KOE, Z6 Golf Echo.
Right. Carol went rushing out at a great rate of knots because I said I'm just about to transmit. It's all good. Let's take that out of my ear. So 1400 would suit me, but it's more important, does it suit Ed? If Ed can make it, then I'm happy with that. Most important. And I don't know where you got that camera from, Ed. I think I'd go back to him and sort of say you want a refund. Without a doubt, you know, someone obviously sold you a duff one there. And Phil, yeah, thanks very much for all the compliments there. Yeah, I can't believe I agreed to do it, to be quite honest. I sort of, anyway, that's enough on that. And Paul, okay, yeah, fine on your phone, but at least you better tell me when I've not got any audio. How, I don't know, but you probably will be. So that's it. Plus you don't want to tell me. Plus you know they can connect to Benno, and you'll connect to Benno, and Benno can tell me. I suppose that's the method you're using. But yeah, fine on the camera not working there, Leon. I'm not sure, you've probably disappeared, but yeah, it's one of those annoying things. I get it with the camera I'm using at the moment. For some reason, at times it I think it's because the app that goes with the camera is sort of running in the background. Sometimes it does things. It's mine, and I've had to completely shut down. It hasn't worked on the method that's been adopted, but shutting the whole computer system and back up, it's usually worked. But usually, as Benno said, deselecting to something else and reselecting back, and everything comes alive on most USB things there, which is good. What else was I going to comment on? I don't know. Yeah, on the mini tuner Express, I don't have one, never had one, so I can't help on there. I've got a mini tuner 2, which I put together, which is being used. Oh, I was going to say, with regards to the internet, yeah, I can monitor. I built the little device so as you get the spectrum up in DATV red, even when the internet is down, etc. Because I had the problem where I lost the internet at some stage and I couldn't check the channel easily. But now, since the modifications in DATV red, you've actually got 2 methods. So that is good. You can actually see whether the channel's in use before transmitting, whereas I had to almost sort of transmit and see whether there was any complaints to a certain extent. Anyway, so I'll assume it's going to be 1400 next week, and hopefully we'll make it, and we'll try and be a bit more together, and I'll keep pushing the All-Star side of things, which is taking off. And oh yeah, I was going to mention DMR and such like. I was involved in a number of repeaters, one in particular, which we had. Well, I started off with D-Star, which got me into the modes, but I had this habit of suffering with RTD2 type of things. It was interesting. I sort of kept the radio till quite an end. I wonder if this is going to be Paul. No, I don't know. Probably not. I had this text message coming through. Next week start 1400. Okay, I made it official now. It's been official. It's been, the decision has been made. 1400, which is good. I thought for a minute it was going to be Paul was texting me to say I can contact you, but no, it wasn't. Throw me complete. Yeah, D-Star started off with. Anyway, the repeater was set up with using the MMDVM side of things, which had it was a System X repeater originally, which although the quality is absolutely brilliant, I say it's hard work in some respects. But we had that second. That was one repeater we put solely on a Fusion. That was totally the second repeater we had on the same site. We made it multi-mode as such, so it could be either an FM repeater or it could be DMR, etc., etc. That's probably the worst thing I've ever done. Technically, it was absolutely good, so you could go in and you could decide what you're going to select, but the users, it was just too complicated, and even I struggled at times to know what mode was it in, etc., etc., etc. From just using it from a handheld. With All Star, it's nice to get back to that FM radio. Everyone seems to be using the same one, which is thrown in the corner, which costs you 10 quid or whatever, and a Raspberry Pi 3, or now Benno says you can use something a lot less. Brilliant, I think, as a talkback channel, not solely to be relied on, agreed, but it's just an addition to everything else. I'm in favour of it anyway, as you can tell. I should carry on with it. And it helped, Benno called me up to tell me Leon was still around, which I didn't know because I was late on the net, and so Leon got to go. But he still doesn't like All Star, even though he got to go. Right, I think that's enough from me. I can take the rest of the weekend off now, I think. So I'll pass it back to you there, Gary. I presume you're going to take it now that you've got things working, and I suppose it's just one of those silly things. Yeah, I bet you just rebooted the computer and everything worked. So 7.3 is all a good net, and I want confirmation that Ed's going to make it next week. Otherwise, it's all going to have been wasted. And yeah, the returns are accepted on certain cameras. 7.3 is all. I'll put a test card and it's over to you there, Gary.
You certainly know how to put Ed on the spot. Like that. Clever. Okay, Martin. Yeah, I don't know. I still can't tell you what. I played around, rebooted, redid all sorts of things. And then it came right on its own in a funny way. But it seems to be okay now. But my CPU is running hot. But that's not the reason. This is after some Windows update. But thanks everyone. Just to it says there's a problem. Just to reiterate what Martin said, we're going to next week, just an hour later, which would actually be the same time it was for the UK hams. It will be 1400 UTC. We did try that last year or last season, whichever way you want to look at it, and it worked okay. So that's what it'll be. I have sent messages to most. Thanks very much for participating. We really appreciate it. Phil, do you want to take it to Benno, to Paul, and then Ed, Frank, and then we'll close the net. Frank, if you can close the net, but you said you're going to tea, so I'll have to close it after Ed. Mike 0 Papa India Tango ZA6YI.
Oh right, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't ready, but I'm here. Yeah, so we're going for 1400. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that, as long as Ed's happy. And we wouldn't want to lose Ed. So yeah, so I'm all set for that. I can't remember who I'm supposed to hand it over to now. I'm not sure if it's Benno or Ed. I'm not sure. Maybe Paul. I don't know. So I'm going to put up a test card, and I'll see you guys at 1400 next week, all being well. This is M0PIT. Going to put up a test card, and I shall hand it over to whoever.
Bye guys, 1400 is okay for me. So 73 is all. Okay, 3 Fox Bravo X-ray. Passing it over to whoever wants it. Paul?
Yeah, perfect, Benno, thanks. When you play that music before you start your transmission, Benno, there's a lot of distortion. I do not know whether you know that. Perhaps it's on purpose, but otherwise it could be improved. Okay, perfect. Again, thanks a lot for this excellent net, and also thanks to Gary for organizing the new time schedule for the net. And it's well accepted at this site. See you again, and again have a good week. That means camera and microphone to Ed.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks. Thank you all for considering the new time. Yeah, 1400 is okay to me. Probably next week by this time they're gonna change the clocks here. This year they will not, but next year they will implement summertime. So probably for next year 1500 will be okay to me. Yeah. But anyways, let's suffer when the times comes. But 1400 for me is perfect. Thank you all, 73. I didn't realize this distortion, Paul, you mentioned about Benno's start music. For me, it plays okay. I don't know, but I didn't notice any distortion. Okay, bye-bye everyone. I think Frank is no longer here, so I think it's back to Gary. Thanks, Gary, for coordinating the time. Difficult task. 7312 from Papa Yankee 2, Romeo November.
It pays to switch on the encoder. Thank you very much indeed for the participation today. We look forward to seeing everyone next week at 1400 UTC. And Ed, if your clocks go back, or yeah, it'll go back as well. No, you'll go in front. Oh, golly. These clocks have changed. But anyway, I'm glad we sort of resolved this. So we're back to what we were last year. It seemed to work, and everyone was sort of happy. 7-3 to all. Enjoy the rest of the week. Look forward to next week. ZS6YI now closing the net. 7-3.